mind you, by this time, I'm on steroids, and I need to be on the oral type for quite a bit. But because I was traveling, at some point, the doctors at the clinic or my neurologist at the private clinic that I mentioned wanted me to hurry up and just travel so that I could have proper care at the location, like my home base, because it doesn't make sense to start a treatment plan long term with a clinic that I'm not going to be in that city for a long time. It didn't make sense. So they were urging me to get on with it as soon as I'm able to do so. So I am researching on my computer, like I said, different cities, different towns, nearby areas of multiple neurologists, and clinics that do MRIs or have neurologists. And tell me why everywhere that I had looked up, and I was calling internationally. You would think someone else is doing this for me, but look, I like to be in control of my life, as I have mentioned before. And so I was making international calls and, asking questions, and everyone came back to me, either left a voicemail or an email or talked to me directly, telling me that there's a 6-month wait period. There's a 1-month wait period. Oh, we're not accepting patients at this time. So I'm here in the middle of being diagnosed with something, and I need a second opinion just to confirm for sure that this is either MS or transverse myelitis. But I'm currently on steroids, and I get this is very hard to talk about, because at the time not having a doctor is so dangerous when you're going through this, because I'm on steroids. I have to have a specific dosage every day. And so I need to be regulated. And at that point, because I'm traveling, I don't have anyone to tell me you should stay on this dosage for this long, and you should taper off or you should continue it. So long story short, if I want to fast forward, I'm traveling, and, we're trying to make sure we are playing it safe. So we were my family and I, we're let's play it safe and get as many refills as we can, enough so that while I'm waiting to be seen, when I travel back home to my home base, I have enough medication. And that's very dangerous, because you don't know what you're working with. You don't know what you're dealing with, but you are desperate. So I remember my husband running around town like a chicken with no head, frustrated. You go to a pharmacy, they only have X amount dosage and pills. And so you have to go to multiple pharmacies just to get exactly what you need for 2 weeks worth, which didn't make sense, but it is what it is. And so this is very hard to talk about, because I was so desperate. I'm fighting for my life. Okay? I'm fighting for my life, but I also have no direction, no guidance, no doctor who's able to tell me, okay, this is what you need to do and continue doing this for this amount of time, no regulation. So as I'm researching, I come across this clinic that's supposed to be in a nearby town. And I reach out to them about my condition. I tell them my story. And it was weird, because when I had contacted them, they actually happened to be in the States, but they were supposed to be in a different country, closer to where I actually live. So I still am not able to reach anybody. This is all via email. I'm able to travel eventually, and I'm still confused. Like, what am I going to, I feel like I was lost and I didn't know where to go. And I don't want to overdose, but I don't want to get off the medication and do more harm. Like, I was literally out of the loop, and it was very scary because this is my life. Like, y'all don't understand. This is my life at stake. It's one thing to deal with a diagnosis, and then another thing to deal with not knowing what to do and not having guidance or being regulated, and try to figure it out on your own. So, like, I kid you not, for y'all questioning if there's a God, I don't know about you, but for me there is, because my prayers were answered. A lot of people were praying for me, but I was praying for me. And the prayers that were answered was that I made a call, like a desperate call. Like, I made a call to this same clinic. And one day, or in a different episode, I will reveal this clinic, because till this day, they are active in my life. And they are officially like my neurologist clinic. But I'll save that for later. So I talked to an individual, and they're in the States, and I'm trying to like keep it together. Here I am. I have moon face. At this point, like, everything about my life was just like falling apart. Here I am. I have moon face. My belly is like protruding because I'm on steroid treatment. And so I'm just not myself, and I'm trying to hold it together. And I'm telling her my story. I'm like, I need an appointment now. I don't know what to do. I was just recently diagnosed with this. Even then, I still didn't know if it was like MS or transverse myelitis. Right now, I'm talking with confidence of the diagnosis. But when I spoke to this individual, I didn't know where I really stood in terms of my diagnosis. All I know is that I had the report. I had the different notes from the neurologist, from everything that I had mentioned, to all the different tests that I had taken, from the MRI to the lumbar punctures to the blood work, everything. And I sent it to her. And luckily she was able to set up an appointment with the neurologist that same day. Like, if that's not God, I don't know what is, because no one was willing to see me. There's protocol. And it's not like I'm against protocol, but like, I need to see someone now before I overdose on something that I don't know I'm overdosing on, or before I get off the medication and maybe I'm supposed to still be on it. So I'm able to see the neurologist, and this is on Zoom. Thank God this was like via video. And I tell him my story, and I'm still trying to put myself together. And I feel like breaking down, but I'm like, I don't know him. He doesn't know me. I need to like collect myself and just figure out what's going on. He asks me, do I have anything, like any reports from the clinic that I had gone to, or the private hospital that I'd gone to? What happened? Blah, blah, blah. So as we're having this appointment, this virtual appointment, I am sending him the reports from the clinic, from the hospital, in real time. So he's getting like it was at least 10 different reports, and I'm sending it to him just because I'm not able to send him the CD or the imaging, the MRI imaging. So I send him the reports, and he's able to review it, analyze it, and confirm that indeed it's multiple sclerosis. So I felt like it was bittersweet, because it's like, who wants to hear that? But at the same time, it's like you can breathe, having clarity as to like, okay, I know what I'm dealing with now. I don't like the news, but at least I'm not all over the place thinking it could be this, 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 and this. So what he encourages me to do is he asked me, the dosage of the steroids I've been on and how long have I been taking it. And so it's actually a beautiful story. Something that was an annoyance actually turned out to be a blessing, which was the dosage of the steroid oral medication that I was taking. They didn't have the full dosage in one pill. So I was at a point where I was taking like 10 different pills. I forgot what the dosage was, but in order for me to have the full dosage I needed, I was taking 10 of those every day. And what this neurologist told me was that, okay, you've been on this for at least 2 weeks. So you need to taper off of it, because I didn't have the knowledge. Like I said, I didn't have the guidance from a neurologist or a physician telling me that, okay, you can only be on this for no more than a month. After a month, like, you need to get off of it because you can have like organ damage, like no one told me that. And so what he recommended is that I taper off the steroids eventually until the end of the month. And so that actually worked out in my favor because I didn't have to like crush or divide the oral steroid medication. Like, I started with, I believe like 10 pills. Then in like 2 days, I did the math. So like in 2 days, then I was tapering off little by little. Then I would have 8 pills. Then in 2 days, I would have 6, and so on and so forth until it was like 0. And just to add to all of this, it's like, it's still not over. I still need to be assessed. I need to have a treatment plan. So the first opening they had, mind you, this is international. Like, this clinic is not nearby. So I had to travel to the States. And the first opening they had was like less than a week from when I had that interaction with them via virtual appointment. And at that point, I was like, look, if I have to sell an arm and a leg just to go to the States to be seen, to have a proper assessment, and to figure out, a customized treatment plan. Obviously they reached out about, or the team reached out about the different treatment plans that they had available and which one would be, conducive for what I was able to do. Whether it was, I think, 3 or 6 months versus a year. So long story short, it wasn't a question of, can I do it? It was like, when can we get on the next flight for the first availability? And so that's what ended up happening.